Jordan, Coach Kerr mentioned the other day that he thought you could make a similar defensive leap this year that you made offensively last year. What are your thoughts about that and how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, we talked about it. I think it was like a week or so ago. But me and Chris DeMarco kind of talked about it all summer, kind of like a progression, something that we want to continue to get better at just because it'll significantly help our team. And I told him that I accepted the challenge, and it's definitely something that I'm going to be focusing on a lot.
One of the things that might involve is guarding bigger guards, and it sounded like Dr. Celebrini said you're one of the pound-for-pound strongest guys in the weight room.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the specifics about that, kind of how you built that up, and where are you right now in those spots?
I just think it comes back to not shying back from the challenge. Whoever it is you match up against, 1, the 2, the 3, you just got to accept it, guard up, and then, like I said, we got really good defenders in our back line, and Loon and Draymond and Wiggs and James. So just being able to guard our yard and, our team defense will take care of everything else.
You've gone from a rookie that people probably didn't expect much of to now this year everybody's expected a breakout year from you. How is that different? Like, how are you processing all of that?
What do you mean?
Like, was it difficult when people may have thought, you weren't going to be a good pick, and does it matter at all now that people are saying they're expecting a breakout year from you?
No, I know what I was capable of. I think I said it immediately. Coming in first year, it just takes some time. It's as simple as that. I think everybody would want somebody to come in and just be a dominant force right away, but how often does that really happen? Credit to the coaching staff, for just sticking with me and allowing me to really just come into my own, pushing me and challenging me to become better every single day, and it's paid off. And going into year 3, you feel more confident than ever.
Draymond reminded me, it's contract year for you and all that stuff. Do you think about any of that stuff? Is that part of what drives you to work so hard?
You kind of got to put everything into perspective. It's our job. This is what we do. But day in and day out, bro, I'm just focusing on getting better. However we can help the team. If you're focusing on winning, everything will take care of itself.
Jordan, as far as breakouts go, both Steve and Draymond have said you are one of the hardest and most consistent workers the team has. How do you feel knowing that some important people around you how to recognize the work that you're doing, and this is part of your reputation now?
Yeah, I think that's, just extremely thankful to be around players and coaches, who are willing to say stuff like that. This is kind of like my first time actually, coaches or players publicly going out there and saying, like, oh, he's an extremely hard worker, or we see the work that he puts in. So it's pretty cool to kind of just hear that, and it definitely adds motivation, but I just, like working on my craft and trying to be the best player that I can be to help us as a team, and shout out to Draymond and Coach for that for sure.
What does Draymond do to a gym when he's back today? What does he do to the gym when he's back?
He just brings a lot of energy and experience, tenacity, tenaciousness, communication. Like, what you think he brings is what he brings. It's pretty all out there with Draymond, and he's arguably the best defender of all time. So what you think the best defender of all time would bring is going to bring that to practice every day. And it's, it was so good to have him back today. Yeah.
As you mentioned, your confidence has never wavered.
Say that one more time, brother.
Your confidence has never wavered.
Appreciate it.
Even last year when they sent you to the bubble, some of your teammates were saying, I don't even think he should have to go, but you did that and came back. How do you maintain that confidence level through all this?
I think it just comes with your perspective, maturity, the people around you. I suddenly just went down there and just looked at it as live reps. My 2 feet were in Orlando in the bubble in the hotel room, and there was no need to be thinking about anywhere else. I wasn't going to be in San Francisco, wasn't going to be making a trip to the next game. So I just went down there and just played the same way I would play as if I was getting an opportunity up top, and it just paid off.
Did you need those assurances at all when you got back and started seeing the success? Did you need that at all? Or
What do you mean?
did you need that to say, hey, look, like you said on media day,
Right.
the work worked, right?
Oh, I think that's just the direction that it went in. You know, I think everybody's path is a bit different. And I was just down there getting 20 minutes. You down there getting 25, 30 minutes. I mean, you got to make the most of your opportunity. And luckily, when I came back, I was, you know, due to the circumstances, was still getting the same amount of time, and the production was the same. And yeah, I just think that's the direction that it went in with the front office, the coaches. It was just kind of the decision that we made. And I mean, yes, you can say it paid off. Y'all got questions today. Normally, I'd be out of here.
It feels good to talk to you. This is not my question, but do you feel more comfortable, you know, talking to media? It does feel like you've transformed a little bit.
No. I told her too I'd be nice today.
Well, thank you. Steve also mentioned that he wants to see you play more alongside Steph. What would that do for your game? What do you think you could help open up for, you know, just the floor spacing there? And that seems to be a fan favorite concept as well, getting you more minutes with Steph.
Yeah. We got a little bit of a sample size last year on our playing games. And it felt good. It felt right. Just being able to kind of just play off of him and him not to have to work so hard to, whether it's bringing up the ball or fight for a shot. He can play off ball a little bit, and he's such an amazing player, dynamic player. Trying to get him easy shots is a game changer. You know, like he's obviously going to make the tough shots that he shoots, and he's going to work for those. But I don't think anybody wants to pass up an easy look. But through all of that, coaches and players are still wanting me to be aggressive, and I just reiterate all the time that I'm just a player who wants to make the right play. Like if I see somebody open, I'm going to pass it. And I think that's just kind of the trend that we have in the organization. And I'm just opening up the floor for him a little bit, and everybody else gives driving lanes. It's definitely exciting to think about that.
Hey Jordan, I don't know if this has been asked yet, but have you actually talked to Steve about the starting shooting guard position?
What do you mean? Like, did we have a conversation? Did we ask? Like, what you mean?
Kind of like, you know, is that spot up for grabs? Do you want it? You know, that kind of thing, and
there was
dynamics.
Yeah, there wasn't like a conversation like let's sit down and talk about, you know, the 2-guard spot up. But I think it's a pretty well-known fact that Klay is not going to be back when the season starts, and they're looking for a 2-guard. I mean, I'm competitive, like everybody else on the team is. You know, we wouldn't be here if we weren't competitors, and you take that for what it is, and you just go out there and you try to perform. I mean, it's as simple as that. And you know, like I said, coach is going to put whoever he feels most comfortable with out there, whether it's strategic, whether it's for performance, whatever it is.
Steve and Bob have referenced your development over the past 2 years when they're talking about Jonathan and Moses and the steps they're hoping to see from them this season. Do you see any parallels there and anything that you can teach them along the way?
I mean, it comes sporadically. It may be one thing that I see that will be on the court, and you just kind of want to give a little bit of knowledge as a teammate. I don't think it really turns into vet, younger guy, non-vet type of situation. It's just if you see something that you can help your teammate on, you say it. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to get a lot of tips, notes, hints from a lot of the older guys, whether it's Draymond, Steph, Klay, Andre now, and I'm just passing it on. I'm not the type of person to steal the information. I'll definitely pass it on.
From your perspective, do you think it's helpful having them publicly kind of temper down expectations for year one for these, you know, teenagers coming into the league?
What you mean?
As in saying, you know, you're in year two and these guys are just, they're in year one and we're just seeing what you can do now in year two.
Yeah, and if anything, I'm just telling them to stick with it. Stick with it. I mean, this isn't college, it isn't high school, it isn't the G, it's the NBA, and this is where you want it to be your entire life. So, you just got to kind of attack it as a professional, ask questions and gain as much knowledge as you can, and just try to push forward. Everything will kind of take care of itself if you can control what you can control.
Better hurry, Rusty.
mentioned asking questions, asking the right questions.
Yeah.
You said as soon as Andre walked in, you started asking him, what kind of things do you ask him? I'm sure it's somewhat situational, but do you see opportunities to go at him, and what kind of stuff do you ask?
Man, anything, whether it's from who he's played with earlier on in his career, how is it to feel to be back, whether it's what does he see on the help side trap, or what is he doing on the ball screen. He's an extremely elite defender, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where the coaches and the staff challenged me to become a better defensive player. I'm asking Draymond, I'm asking Andre, give me all of the tips and the hints, and they definitely do a really good job of slowing it down, breaking it down for me, and kind of just putting everything in a layman's terms. And I'll try to take as much knowledge as I can from that and continue to keep it going.
We've famously heard about your hard work now. When coach announces that you guys are not practicing tomorrow, what does that mean to you?
What do you mean?
Does that mean you still find time to get in the gym, or do you actually give yourself a break every once in a while these days?
I think I have a really good concept of what balance is. That's the answer I got for you.
Good answer. Good answer. You didn't say, I'm not coming in, or maybe I might. It's on Alan.